Hi, welcome to Surviving Motherhood. So, we all need God's help, right? I think we're all pretty comfortable admitting that. We know it's true. But I wonder if you ever feel like you're a bother to Him. Like you have these needs and He's just got so many other things to pay attention to. Why should He be interested in your little needs? I felt like that sometimes. In fact, I kind of felt like that last week, and that's why I started looking at this passage in Luke chapter 8. Because there's a story here beginning in verse 40, about two different stories actually, about people who had a need, and it kind of seems like they were a little embarrassed about that. Like they felt like a bother. And Jesus shows so clearly in here that is not a bother to Him. You are not a bother. I'm not a bother. So I wanted to share these stories with you. Well, you probably are familiar with them. Luke 8 verse 40 begins talking about a man who comes to Jesus because his daughter is sick and he's asking him to come to his house to help. He needs help. He knows that, so he asks the Lord. Well, along the way to the house, this crowd gathers in around him. There's a woman who has been sick with this bleeding thing for 12 years, and she knows she can just get in to touch the hem of his robe. She will be healed. So she does that, and Jesus stops. He says, "Who touched me?" Because he knows that power has gone out of him. And I find it interesting. In verse 47, it says, "Then the woman, seeing that she could not go unnoticed, came trembling and fell at his feet." And what that sentence says to me, when it says that the woman, seeing that she could not go unnoticed, that indicates to me that she wanted to go unnoticed. That she probably didn't feel worthy of coming to Jesus and stopping him and asking him to heal her. She had the faith to know, if I just touch him, I'll be healed. But I'm such an outcast. I'm so unworthy. I really can't even stop him. I just need to touch him. I don't want anybody to notice me. I just want to touch him and be healed. And she did. She touched him and she was healed. But Jesus noticed her. She fell at his feet. She told him the truth about everything. And we see what Jesus did. He said, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace." And I love that. But sometimes I also like to look at what he didn't do. Because this woman was feeling so unworthy and she wanted to be unnoticed, I wonder if maybe she had expected Jesus to say something like, "All right, you got what you want, now get out of here." But he didn't do that. Jesus didn't respond in a way that would make her feel more unworthy. He said, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Now go in peace." Clearly, that wasn't a bother to him to have this woman have faith and come and touch him. That gives me encouragement. And then there's the next part of the story. They're going on from there, and all of a sudden a person comes and says to Jairus, who had asked Jesus to come heal his daughter, says, "Hey, your daughter's dead. Don't bother the teacher anymore." It says it right there. Don't bother the teacher anymore. Clearly, this man thought that Jairus and his daughter were a bother to Jesus. But Jesus didn't say, "Yeah, you're right. This is such a bother." Instead, he says, "Don't be afraid, just believe and she will be healed." And Jesus went on and he healed the girl, brought her back to life. But I have to ask myself, what if that woman who had the bleeding, who felt ashamed, who felt unworthy, what if she hadn't gone to Jesus because she counted her unworthiness above his ability? What if Jairus had said, "Oh, okay, yeah, you're right, I don't want to bother you anymore. Jesus, go on, I can't bother you, I'm such a bother." What would have happened? Neither one of them would have received their miracle. And that would have been a sad thing. So I say this to encourage you. you are in need of a miracle, and who of us isn't, go to Jesus. Touch him. Talk to him. Believe in him. Your faith can heal you. It might not be in your timing. It might not be in the way you want. But God's ways are perfect. You're not a bother to him. So go. Talk to him and believe. Now, have a wonderful, Jesus-full day.